Okay, Mr. Chairman,
Okay,
we're ready.
all right. I call the meeting of the Winterville Planning and Zoning Board for February 15th, 2021 to order. Welcome to all of our board members and anyone else that may be participating in this. Happy New Year to those who have not had a chance to say it to it. I hope that it will definitely turn out to be a happier new year than last year was to us. All right. Do we have any excused absences, Brian?
Mr. Chair, I did have a request from Miss Margie Crawford to be excused tonight. I do have some sad news for the board. Mr. Willie Lee Hines has tendered his resignation letter. So regretfully, I did accept it. So he's been a staple on the planning board and the board of adjustment for a long, long time now. I'd like to personally say that I appreciate all he's done for the town. I understand exactly why he's doing it. And with your permission, I'd like to read his resignation letter.
Yes, sir.
So it was directed to the Winterville Planning Department. Dear sir, I'm writing this letter to resign as a member of the Winterville Planning and Zoning Board, effective immediately. I have enjoyed my position on this board. However, due to health conditions, I am unable to fulfill the commitments of this position. Thank you. Sincerely, Mr. Willie Lee Hines. So we'll be obviously have a vacant position, and we'll be moving forward with town council to fill that as soon as possible.
Okay, thank you. All right, so we have Miss Margie Crawford who has requested an excused absence. What is the pleasure of the board?
Motion to accept the excused absence.
Okay, we have a motion by Mr. Killian. Can we get a second? Unmute yourself, Mr. Moore. I think I saw your mouth.
Second.
Okay, second by Mr. Moore. Please let it be known upon roll call.
All right, so I'm going to do the roll call tonight. Let's see. You might have to. Yeah, that's why I had it off. All right, sorry about that. So Dr. Gregory Monroe,
Aye.
Douglas Killian,
Aye.
Robert Briley. I saw an eye, but you're muted, Mr. Briley. But I saw you give the affirmative.
Aye.
There we go.
Peggy Clybourne. Peggy Clybourne.
Speak
Miss
loud.
Peggy.
She has tough time hearing.
Yeah. Rondi Fleming.
Aye.
Darlene Gardner.
Aye.
And Tucker Moore. I saw the affirmative.
All right. So the excuse absent has been granted. Board member, you've had a chance to look at the agenda. If not, give you a chance to look over that, and then we'll entertain a motion to approve the agenda for tonight's meeting.
Motion to approve the agenda.
Okay, we have a,
Motion.
Looked it over already.
okay, all right, we have a first and we have a second. Please vote according to your pleasure upon roll call.
Can you verify who was at the motion in the second?
The motion was Doug Killian, the second. I missed
Me.
Rodney.
Ronnie Fleming.
Mhm.
All right, roll call. Gregory Monroe,
Aye.
Douglas Killian,
Aye.
Robert Riley,
Aye.
Peggy Clybourne. Peggy Clybourne. She had it earlier. I don't know
Yes,
why
she
we're
did.
having issues now. Rondi Fleming,
Aye.
Darlene Gardner,
Aye.
and Tucker Moore.
Aye.
Miss Peggy, can you hear me? It's fine. We'll move on. We've got the majority.
Okay, all right. I know it's been a long time, but we are looking at the minutes from the October regular meeting. Have a chance to consider, we'll entertain a motion.
Somebody else.
Motion to accept.
Okay.
Second, Doug Killian.
Motion by Tucker Moore, second by Doug Killian.
All right, roll call for approval. Gregory Monroe,
Aye.
Douglas Killian,
Aye.
Robert Briley,
Aye.
Peggy Claiborne. Still not hearing us. Rodney Fleming. Mr. Fleming, you're on mute. Well, I see you. I got the affirmative. Darlene Gardner,
Aye.
Aye.
Tucker Moore. All in. Miss Peggy, can you hear me now? That's not. All right.
All right, and we're now ready for our new business. First up, Ellis Ridge Phase 1 and 3 final plat.
All right, I'm gonna share my screen so you guys can see exactly what I'm gonna do. Get that going. All right, thank you, Mr. Chairman. So I'm gonna move through this somewhat swiftly, but if you got any questions, feel free to stop me. So we do have Eli's Ridge phases 1 and 3. So there's some site data. That site's located out on Worthington Road. It's east of its intersection with Old Tar. Parcel numbers are listed on the screen, 86615-25777. This is 42 lots on 25.777 acres. Zoning district is R10. So just some site history. This preliminary plat was approved by, recommended for approval by this board back in March of 2018. And then the preliminary plat was approved in April of 2018. Construction plans were subsequently approved by the Development Review Committee on August 9th, 2019. So just a big overall aerial of the site. You can see here is Worthington to the north. You see Swift Creek bordering it on the east side over there. So just some items of note, environmental concerns on it. You got the floodplain outlined in blue. It's a big portion of it. And then you see in the red on the right side of your screen is floodway. And then in that the whited area is the Southeast Drainage District drainage lateral buffer. So there are easement they've got there. That's their maintenance path and buffer out there so they can actually maintain that channel. So it's free of debris and keep that thing flowing good. But you'll see here just a little bit better view of it. You can obviously see where they've started the construction of the roads, the wetland, I'm sorry, the stormwater pond over here. But there's an overlay of the actual plot, so you can see how the lots are going to lay out in there. Like I said, it was 42 lots. Just kind of overlay that floodplain on top of it. You can see that there are some lots that are going to be in the floodplain. So those will be lots we look at, especially when development permits come in for construction of homes. We'll ensure those homes are elevated to the proper elevation, and all floodplain regulations are maintained during those construction. But you see there's the hatched area is a riparian buffer. So that's just the protection of the streams on site. So there's a Swift Creek, obviously on the east side, and then the little trib coming off of that one, interior of the subdivision. So that'll be a 50-foot buffer on each side of those. It's hard to see. That hatched area is just the drainage lateral buffer easement on that. And that's the location of the stormwater pond that's currently out there. But with that, I'll answer any questions. Mr. Landon Weaver with Bill Clark's on the Zoom call too, so he's available to answer any questions. as well.
Okay, I have a question, Brian, based on the overlay that you just placed there. Where those homes fall in that floodplain, will their lot size still be equal or equivalent to the others, or do they lose some because they're inside that floodplain?
No, they'll be held to the same standards. So those lot sizes won't be diminished because of the floodplain. Basically, all the floodplain is going to do is they're going to have to go up with their structure. So let's just say this a raised slab. That slab would just be elevated to a point where their first floor or first finished floor would be 2 foot above base flood elevation out there. If it's on a crawl space, the same thing. The difference between a raised slab and a crawl space, they would have to have a vented crawl space. But no, the short answer is no, sir, it won't.
Okay, thank you.
Brian, quick question. Will
Yes,
they
sir.
be required to have flood insurance?
The requirement will come from the mortgage holder. So if they mortgage the home, then yes, they would definitely be required to have flood insurance. Yes, sir.
I have a question in relation to any other neighborhoods or Can you hear me, Brian?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, in relation to any other neighborhoods or subdivisions in Winterville that have similar, I keep hearing something, that have similar floodplain issues, how has the stormwater and all of the other drainage issues panned out over time?
So Winterville's very fortunate that we don't have a lot of floodplain. The Swift Creek, which is the water feature there to the right, and then Fort Swamp on the other side of town, there are 2 major floodplain contributors. So we don't have a lot of development that does have it. There is some along Ray Crawford Drive has historically flooded. But we've actually got mitigation funds actually to mitigate those repetitive losses over there. But like I said, fortunately, we don't have a lot of floodplain to deal with. So I guess the easy answer is we deal with it pretty well since we don't really have it. But historically, Winterville does not have a flooding issue. With the I think Landon could probably speak to the actual stormwater design and the thought process behind trying to protect those residents. I'll let Landon speak if he will.
Okay.
Landon, go ahead. Make sure you're unmuted.
He
Can't
may
hear
be
him.
having the same problem Miss Peggy's having.
Let's see. Hey, Landon.
Hey, can I speak through the phone now?
Yeah, see if you can do it. I got Landon on the phone. See, can go ahead and talk and see if everybody can hear you.
Okay. I did want to point out about the floodplain. We have filled those areas with the dirt that came out of the stormwater pond, and we plan on going forward with a LOMAR with the federal government.
Okay.
So that'll take those areas where the structures will be out of the floodplain once we complete that.
Gotcha. So what Mr. Weaver just informed me that what they've done is where they excavated the stormwater pond, they actually put that field dirt where those home sites are going to be. So they'll be able to actually raise those sites up with that. So with that, they'll actually be able to get FEMA to issue what they call a letter of map revision based on field. So that will negate any type of floodplain regulations that would be put on the structures themselves. So in essence, they're raising that land up so those houses will be located above the floodplain.
Okay.
Just one more question.
Okay.
So no chance that these homes end up like Ray Crawford Drive?
I don't see when you say no chance, I never would say that.
Right, of course,
Even
but-
obviously, the percentage wise, you're located next to a stream that carries a lot of water, and you're located in the floodplain. So, but this will significantly reduce that risk.
And Mr. Moore, to give you a good comparison, we built Parabor Farms, which is over on Fire Tower in Evans, and it is along Fork Swamp Canal as well. We did this exact same thing, and we did that 15 years ago, and we haven't had any problems with residents over there.
Did you hear that?
I did.
Mhm.
I know in my neighborhood, Winnable Crossing at the back cul-de-sac,
Right.
how would that be similar or different?
So
You have a lot of water that takes a good while to run off.
yeah, and you can tell the lay of the land out there is just it's a natural floodplain area out there just because of the elevation changes too. I think you're talking about at the end of that road where it just drops off. So obviously what they're proposing to do is, keep that water off this property by raising it up a little bit. I don't think the comparison there is one that would
Right.
it would be significantly different.
Okay. Okay.
Are there any other questions for Mr. Weaver or for staff?
Yes, I have a question. This is just one step beyond. What is the progress schedule for the development of this, pending the approval of the plat? I mean, you've got a commons area with recreation, and when would you expect to have roads and construction start on homes?
Well, we have a construction permit in for the pool itself, for the amenity center. That has been submitted to the town. We also have the pool company submitting to the health department within the next week for a permit. We have been trying to dig the footer for the sign for the last month, but it's been so wet we haven't been able to dig it. We've got all the major infrastructure in, except for pavement, and we have done walkthroughs with the city in order to get that completed as soon as the weather breaks. And then we're going to landscape our berm in conjunction with the sign up front. So we should be ready to build houses as soon as we get it paved.
Does that answer your question?
I don't know, is that basically 2 to 4 months down the road? Is that what we're looking at?
Well, some of it I think is impacted by the break in the weather.
Yeah, I think not to jump in on Landon, but I think a good answer is as soon as possible. Moving forward with everything, as soon as they're able to get pavement down, they're really ready to start rolling.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Any other questions? There being no questions, we entertain a motion to approve Eli Ridge Phase 1 and 3 final plat.
I so move.
Motion
Mr.
by
Rodney
Rodney Fleming. Get a second.
Doug Killian,
Second by Doug Killing. Please vote your pleasure upon roll call.
Okay, Gregory Monroe,
Aye.
Douglas Killian,
aye.
Robert Riley,
Aye.
Peggy Clybourne. She's still not hearing us. Rodney Fleming,
Aye.
Darlene Gardner,
Aye.
and Tucker Moore.
Yes.
Right.
Thank you, Brian and board.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Landon.
All right. Next item, Villa Grande Phase 2 final plat.
All right, so we got Villa Grande Phase 2. Site data on this, it's out on Red Forbes Road. That's north of its intersection with NC 903. parcel numbers are 82581-10262. And this will be 55 lots coming on board on 26.1 acres, and this zoning is R10. So you see a site aerial photograph here of it. You can see Villa Grande coming off Red Forbes Road, which is going north and south. 903 is on the southern portion of your screen there. And the remainder of this will be kind of out in this open field, which I'll show you a little bit close up. So here's the site close up. You can see the existing homes and streets in there. And here's an overlay. So you can see that's where everything's going to fill out. Just some items of note. That's where the stormwater pond's going. This will be the second stormwater pond in there. There is one up front. And you'll see some stub out roads going to the parcel north, and then the parcel out toward Red Forbes Road. So we got some interconnectivity coming. Also, I didn't, for whatever reason, didn't show up, but there'll be one right here coming off this cul-de-sac as well, going south. So we'll have some interconnectivity going on Poquoson out there. But with that, I've got Mr. John Thompson's. He's actually in the meeting in person with us tonight. So if you guys have any questions for him or for me, we'd be happy to answer any.
Brian, I have a question. In this plot plan, what is the large, to the left of your arrow, there's a large triangle. There, I can't read what that's it. What is that?
So that's a common area. There's no plans for it other than to leave it open at this point in time. That'll be turned over to the HOA upon recording.
Will that be maintained?
Yes, sir. So HOA will be responsible for maintaining that.
All right. Are there any questions for the developer or for staff? Okay, if there be no question, entertain a motion to regarding Villa Grande Phase 2, final plat.
I move to recommend.
Okay, been motioned by Mr. Moore to approve. In a second.
Second, Darlene Gardner.
Second by Ms. Gardner. Please vote your pleasure according to roll call.
Gregory Monroe,
Aye.
Douglas Killian,
Aye.
Robert Briley,
Aye.
Peggy Clybourne, Rondi Fleming,
Aye.
Darlene Gardner,
Aye.
and Tucker Moore.
Aye.
All right.
I have
Staff,
a quick question. Does Miss Peggy have option to call in?
yeah, she was on earlier and we could hear her. We don't know what happened.
Yeah, I don't know. Well, she's having some technical difficulties, but yeah, she does, and I probably should. Yeah, for whatever reason, I don't know why she's having, because it looks like everything on my end, she's fine. Miss Clybourne, can you hear us? Okay, she can hear us, we just can't hear her. So you gave the affirmative. Give me the signs up on the affirmative.
Thumb up, thumbs up.
Can you hear us, Miss Peggy? If you agree.
Yeah, dude, yeah.
All right, so she's giving the affirmative, Don.
Right.
Thank you, Miss Peggy. All right, thank you, John.
Okay. Report from staff.
So you saw my reports interior of your agenda packet. You can see we're not doing a lot on the residential side, but that's just because we didn't have any lots on the ground. Well, now we're going to have, come next month, we'll have almost 100 on the ground. So we'll probably see a lot more residential growth. You saw also, well, I don't know if I put it in there, but we're going to be, I know I talked about it in the past, but we're going to be coming before this board with some subdivision ordinance amendments. We're going to do some some 160D updates, just like we did with the zoning ordinance. Just some references in there we got to get straight. Plus, our subdivision ordinance is just kind of outdated with the ability for surveyors and developers to e-record now. The paper maps are becoming a thing of the past, so we're going to give an option for that in our ordinance as well. And then just try to give a fresh format. Just to kind of bring that thing into the current times that we've got right now. We're also going to go back to our zoning ordinance for some amendments. We've got some, I know we had talked about it before, but the architectural designs for when we start getting into multifamily, if we're seeing a lot more interest in that from the developer side. But we want to make sure that when it comes before the town, we've got some teeth to put into, actually those design guidelines. And once you get into those multiple type units, we do have the ability to regulate what those units look like. So we can even we can dictate what type of architectural features there are, what type of materials are used in them. So that's something that'll be coming for you guys as well. We're working on that right now in the office. But other than that, that's all I got. I feel like we're going to be seeing a lot more of each other. We probably won't have a lot of meetings off between now and the end of the year, which is a good thing. So.
All right,
Brian,
comment from the board.
Greg, I have a question.
Yes, sir.
Brian, two things. Any reports on development on Beacon Drive? And then the second one, is there any further development on that multi-family apartment house that was out there by 11 and Main Street?
I know exactly which one you're talking about. So start off with Beacon. The Pitt County Farm Bureau office is going to be going up there. They should be starting their building within the next month or two. So you'll see that coming up. The big track up front behind Chick-fil-A. There's always rumors about that one. So I don't really have any good intel on it other than we've had developers look at that thing over and over again. So hopefully we'll see somebody come in and pick that one up and get a good anchor store out there. But I don't have anything other than that right now, other than the Pitt County Farm Bureau thing. As far as the site on Chapman, between Chapman and Highway 11, so Evergreen Construction Company, if you recall, was the one who was going to build that facility, and they were getting partial funding through the North Carolina Housing Financing Agency. So they do their funding on a yearly basis, and they did not get funded last year. So that's why you've seen a stall out in that one. So they actually have resubmitted for funding on that project and should know by late spring or early summer whether or not that funding will go through. If it does, then they're going to pick up right where they left off, and they'll start with sites middle and all that good stuff. So hopefully they'll get theirs. If not, then you'll see that site come up again before this board, because that one was such a site-specific rezoning. If anything happens other than that project, it'll have to be rezoned. So,
thank you.
Brian, I've noticed, downtown, and I know that Ms. Gardner had brought it up in previous meetings about getting more businesses downtown. Have we had any activities in that area? It seems like some of the stores have been as prettied up or whatnot.
Yeah, great question, and it's timely too. So we just had I don't want to call him a developer, it's a redeveloper, purchase a number of buildings downtown. So he started with the old Sweet Couple Bakery. Then they're redoing that one. They should be close to finishing that one and hopefully getting a good tenant in. I don't know exactly who they're going to get in, but that one's got a full kitchen in it. So I would assume it's going to be some type of eating establishment, which will be really good, kind of right in the middle where you got the breweries on two ends, you got the taco shop on the other end. So I think it'd be a good fit. But he's got 4 other, I think it's either 3 or 4 other buildings now. So I don't know exactly what his plans are, but I would assume it'd be something in the realm of what he's doing with that building, going in and kind of just get them back up to par and try to spice up the facades and get the interiors in a fashion that's going to bring some quality tenants down there. Obviously we got tenants down there, so I don't know what exactly to do, but I think some changes are definitely coming, whether if not the tenants themselves, the buildings themselves will look better. So I'm excited about that.
And then the other thing that I wanted to ask with regards to food trucks, I've seen or advertised once or twice, a couple of places. I mean, do we have food trucks that, or do we have anything that would prevent food trucks from setting up there once in a while or doing special events downtown?
No, we don't, and it's something that councils kicked around and staffs kicked around. When you start talking about trying to do a food truck ordinance, it gets cumbersome, and they're already regulated by the health department. So the way we handle it right now, there are no specific regulations other than we'll allow them on private property in a zoning district that allows a restaurant. So we won't allow them just to come park in a right of way downtown. So it has to be on private property. That's the way we've been handling it interior for us.
So like where the marketing is on the square takes place, we wouldn't be able to host an event over there or in something.
So we've handled that a little bit differently than what we would regularly. If it's a mark on the square event, we'll usually have barricades out there to shut down the adjacent right of way. So we will allow them to come and park up on the curb there. We've done that in the past. So yeah, that's a different little scenario where we have and Stephen Penn, obviously he's the market coordinator, but he tries to hopefully he gets to do it this year. That's one of our best events we do, is that Mark on the Square, but typically we'll try to get a rotation of those guys coming in just to bring some extra people down there and help the vendors out and just give us a lot of foot traffic. So
Right.
yeah, that.
All right. Appreciate it.
Brian, you referred to multiple buildings. You mentioned one, the bakery. Is that part of that strip through there that has been
Yes,
purged?
sir. Yes, sir. And this is all public record now, so it's not like I'm spilling any beans. But it's a company, and I forget it's an LLC. But he's got that one, the cigar shop building, the appliance repair building, and then the one next to it. I think if that may be Marlin's, without looking at everything, but I think that he's got those 4 in addition to what he already had. So it was all Mr. Clem Barber was the one who owned all those buildings.
Thank you.
Any other comments from the board? All right, there's no other business before this board. We're entertaining a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second.
So who got that first?
Mr. Briley got that first.
Mr. Briley, motion and second.
Marlene.
All right.
Mr. Fleming, second. All right, roll
Y'all take
call.
care.
Oh,
Let's do one more roll call. I'm sure we can get all in favor, say aye.
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 All right. Thank you, guys. Have a good week. We'll talk to you soon.
Okay.
All right, buddy.